Okay, my morbid fascination has been looking forward to this one. This is the 1/6 scale Wanda Maximoff by Fire Toys, based on Scarlet Witch from Civil War. Now this is a controversial company simply because they seem to be, how can I put it? Well, it's more obvious with the logo down here. We can see that it says Fire Toys. See here, fire. And what is fire? Well, it's hot, isn't it? So do you get it? Hot toys, fire toys, get it? Okay, well, while you're still trying to put the connection together, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look at the box, and I actually kind of like the look of the box. And it's got a nice design here. You can see you've got Wanda Maximoff. They've obviously used like an Endgame sort of logo. However, this isn't based on her from Endgame. Basically, the hair color is completely wrong. It's more based towards Wanda Maximoff from Civil War than it is Endgame. But when you actually look at it from afar, it looks pretty good. If you come in close and have a butcher's, you can see you start to get sort of jagged edges around here where it's been super blown up and is quite pixelated. So yeah, it's nice from a reasonable distance, but if you really want to pick holes in it, you can. But I really like the sort of bright, vibrant purple colour they've given it. And on the side, the artwork just stretches around onto the side. And then on the back, it's actually a better image because it's got sort of like slightly more high res. It's not as big and blown up, and it looks quite colourful and really nice. Okay, so this is just a basic shoebox design. Pull it off. Oh, iPhone commercial. Yeah, that's quite nice. Nothing on the inside. Inside there is a foam insert, and you know I likes me a foam insert. Take the lid off, throw that, and then we can see just in here we have lots of her little fire effects, 2 for the hands, 2 slightly larger ones, and then she comes with a slew of hands. And these are fairly nice. You can see that these were made or sort of molded out of transparent clear plastic, and then they've painted over the top, and the detail isn't too bad. Yeah, I'm just inspecting it. There is a bit of a soft paint job on here. There's no flecking from what I can see. It's quite flat, and there's a little bit of red paint splodge on that hand there. Let's pick up another one and see if it's on all of them. No, just that one. And we can see it does pick up some of the detail quite nicely. Now the hands do look okay, however there is a little bit of mess on the ring just up the top here. But if you're putting the blast effects on her or anything, you're not going to see that. But other than that, they're fairly cleanly painted. Don't look too bad. However, you could always get away with okay hands. It's actually the figure itself that we need to take a look at. Let's hope it's not too terrible. Okay, another foam insert, and out comes the figure. And that's her straight out of the box, no messing, no futzing, just her straight away. And just my initial impression, not too bad. There's a bit of shininess in the body here, which suggests it's a very cheap body. Other than that, yeah, okay, not too bad. Let's just unbox it all, get everything out, and then have a look. Okay, so I've got her out of the packaging, and I'll just put her on the back there. Like I said before, she does come with some flame effects, and these look pretty good. I do like the detail on these. These are pretty much a recast of the Hot Toy version. They probably got the mold from somewhere, don't know where, but maybe the factory. But yeah, they've reproduced these, and they look reasonably nice. I don't think it's got the sort of leveling that maybe the Hot Toys version has. I do have the original sort of Wanda Maximoff from Age of Ultron, so I will compare her near the end of the video with the accessories. But yeah, this is pretty nice, not too bad. Same with the hand effects. These did not come with the Age of Ultron version, so if these came with maybe the Civil War version, then that would make a lot of sense. There is a slightly darker colour there, and then it starts to fade off into the tips. Here, not too bad. Now overall the hands are actually pretty good. They're not like Hot Toys quality, but there is some nice detail in them. There's a little bit of the ring there. She does look like she has a lot of jewellery on her hands, but again, that sort of the paleness of the back of the hands there doesn't fully match the face and the neck here. It's a little bit off, not massively, but just a little bit lighter than the rest of the body, but I doubt that's a really big detail. Okay, let's bring her in. Let's have a look at that head sculpt. And I have to say, that's not terrible. I was expecting wonky eyes and everything, but it's not too bad. There is actually some paint in there to suggest skin texture, but it is very soft. There is a little bit of flecking here that's quite large. Don't know if that's actually, you know, exactly how it should be, but yeah, it does give the face a little bit of personality. The eyeshadow looks okay, bit soft but reasonably clean, and I will say that the lipstick does look a little bit faded. Looks a little bit lackluster is probably the best description. And then coming down into the neck, you can see they've used a sort of cheap 1/6 scale body there, and the light is reflecting off it quite a lot, which is a shame. A little bit of a matte spray on that upper torso, just a little dusting, nothing big, would knock that down. I do like this chain, there's some nice detail, although it is very thick. And that little pendant has some nice detail in it, just there. And then this clothing here, the jacket is on a poppers that can sort of hold and, you know, grip to the waist a little bit more, so it can hold it in, which is nice. If you pull it open, we can see that corset, or I don't know what you'd call this. Is it a corset? I'm going to call it a corset. It's probably not a corset, but you know, it's a bodice maybe, who knows. But it's quite nicely stitched. Does fit all the way around the body quite well. It is a little bit loose here, or a little bit frilly, I shall say, but it's not terrible. It doesn't get in the way, and it looks quite accurate. And you've got these sort of pleather trousers on here, which are quite effective, although you might want to treat those as soon as possible, because I have a funny feeling they probably use very cheap material. And if you're in a sort of like very dry sort of, or maybe even humid environments, you're going to be getting some of that flaking off sooner rather than later. Then you come down into the boots, reasonably nice detail. And look, Hot Toys, you had it right originally, because I'm pretty sure these are just recast from the original, but you had it right originally, which is split boots. See, how's that for? Oops. That fell off. Don't know if that's meant to happen, but it did. But it works. Look, you can have ankle pivot on her. Amazing. We come down and have a look at the coat. Yeah, I like this. I think this is good. This is very nice details in here. Stitching's very straight, very clean. It's not too large. Definitely not very wonky. Actually very, very clean, especially for the price you pay. You come down and she has wires in the coat to give us sort of like a bit more dynamic action poses if you so wish. She put her arms up and she's flying. You can then have the coat billowing out and things like that, which will look really cool. I will say that the hair is frizzing up already. It's already puffing out, and I have a funny feeling. I'm not doing this. Isn't weird, but I am going to sniff the doll's hair. Sorry, yeah, this is going to be a bit weird, but okay, there is a sort of sweet smell to it. So I have a funny feeling that they have put some product in, just not a lot, just enough to keep her hair down so that she can get into the box. But you're probably going to have to put some product in that hair if you want to bring this all back down again and keep it tame, because it's only going to get worse from here. So yeah, if you're the kind of person that just wants a figure straight out of the box with no work, no fuss, no nothing, you're probably better off going with something like the Hot Toys. They're going to be a little bit more careful in that department, but whereas Fire Toys, they're most definitely not even going to bother with that. So when you get this out, you're going to have to put some, like maybe some hairspray in there yourself and get it all futzed to get it down and treated and make it look as it should. Articulation wise, it's okay. However, there is some tilt there, but the going down and the back can be a little bit difficult because it's a very rubbery, cheap body. It is going to be hard to get her chin down to her chest because it will just bounce back up, and the same that way. The arms can do a T-pose quite nicely. There is a bicep swivel in the arm. There is double bend in the arm. There is a wrist peg so it can revolve all the way round and go up and down. However, it keeps popping out for some reason. Dear oh dear. Torso, she can turn that much. That way. Lean back about that much. Lean forward about that much. There is hip joints here, but as you can see, whereas maybe the Hot Toys one would have like a protective suit to try and hide the joint seams, they wouldn't do that with this. So they just put the trousers on and you can see where the rubber sort of pant area is there. Legs go out to about there. There is thigh swivel. Legs go up that much. There is a double joint in the knees, but be careful because that's stretching that already, so futz with it before doing stuff like that. There is a slight squeaking in the leg, again from that cheap body. There's no joint in the calf area, but there is a heck of a lot of ankle pivot in the boot. So articulation wise, she's not that bad, but let's get her all posed up and, you know, futzed with. Let's see what we can do about the slight flaws, and then we'll see where we are. Okay, the usual rules apply with these hands as well. Because they are cheap third-party versions, you've got to be careful putting the wrist pegs in and getting them in solid. It's going to take a little bit of work. I'm going to warm these up before I actually put them onto the pegs, simply because I don't fancy damaging these wrist pegs and having to hunt new ones down just for something that could have taken me like a couple of seconds to warm up with a hairdryer, and that would have solved the problem. Okay, so I've just got her in a quick little flying pose for the moment. I'm using that Spider-Man still suit stand that I did for the last video. But obviously you can see, I think she looks pretty cool. You can still see the reflection in her eyes. They've got glossiness. It is a little flat in the face when it comes to sort of the lip area and stuff. That's not a hard job to improve if you so wish. And obviously this area around here, you've got that slightly cheap rubbery sort of shiny body coming through a little bit, which knocks it down a little bit in terms of quality. And then you can see that the chain here I think is a little thick for this sort of necklace that she wore. I think in the Hot Toys version that was a lot thinner and a lot more in scale, whereas on here she looks a little bit like, you know, B.A. Baracus with a massive chunky chain on. But other than that, I really can't criticize it too much for the price. The stitching's good on the clothing, the body's okay, the effects, while not the best, still look pretty nice. I mean, here is Scarlet Witch from Age of Ultron, and you can see there is a little bit more of like a pinkish hue to the effects, whereas these are a little bit more dull. They lose a little bit of colour, if you can see that. To naked eye it's a lot more obvious, but I don't know if you can tell in the video here, but yeah, these effects are a slight, it's just a tad duller than these, and under such a stark light these do light up pretty nicely, as do the fingers on the hands. So yeah, the translucent sort of reddish pink that they've used is a little duller. Nothing too dramatically bad, but it's better to be aware of that. Now Fire Toys tend to use the promo photos of the Hot Toy in their pictures, and that's dodgy as hell, because you're not going to get that level of quality Hot Toy when you're paying half the price. What you are going to get though is a pretty close approximation, and honestly she is really nice for the price. If she cost the same as a Hot Toy, I'd be telling you don't buy this thing, it's trash, it's not worth the money. But for the £100 you pay for her, she is really, really nice. And some people, they just want a Scarlet Witch in their collection. She's not the main character that they love and adore, but she is a nice background character. And some people won't pay £400, £500 for a background character. And that's where this Fire Toys figure steps in, because it looks pretty good, and you can put it in the background of your Hot Toys and really bulk up that display and really make it look really cool. And she is like a nice representation of the character in your collection without you having to blow all your money on the Hot Toy on the secondary market. However, if Scarlet Witch is your MVP, if she is one of the best characters in the MCU to you, I would say save up your money, try and hunt down the original Hot Toy and see if you can't get a bit of a bargain somewhere along the way, and just be patient. Or heck, come on, I'm pretty sure Hot Toys will do another Scarlet Witch in the near future. It looks like she's not going anywhere in the MCU, so we'll probably get a few more of her to come. But if you just want a nice background character in your display, this will do the job perfectly for you, and you will save yourself a lot of money, and then you can spend all that extra cash on the figures you really do desperately want. And here she is next to some real Hot Toys. Now, call me crazy, but she doesn't look that much out of place. Some people have criticised that the neck is a little skinny. I'll agree with that, but a bit of futzing with the coat, pulling it forward a little bit more and getting that neck covered a little bit, and then pushing the hair down actually helps cover that. And honestly, when you put the hair down, a lot of this figure kind of comes together a little bit more, because it doesn't just look like a frizzy mess in a box. Now what I would like is if she'd had a bit more of an orange tinge to her hair, so she fitted better in with the Endgame lot. But as it is, it's not that big a deal. Again, she's just going to fill up the background of the MCU Endgame shelf, and she's going to do a bloody good job doing it. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. If you do me a favour now, if you can get the fuck out of my cave, I'm going to put her on the shelf next to Thanos. That's going to look pretty good. Bye bye guys.